Okay, in this we're going to be solving exponential and logarithmic equations, so there's going to be some equal signs in them. Okay, so just the basics of an exponential. Remember, we have it to the x power, so we're going to have to break down some of these bases. So if I'm trying to figure out this one I know I can get to be a base of 2. So when I have it to 2 to what power can get me to 16? Well, I know 2 to the 4th can, and I still have this 3x with it. Now I have to have the same base over here, so 2 to what can get me to 8? Well, 2 cubed can. If I have the same base, I have 4 times 3x is equal to 3. 4 times 3x is 12x, so I'm now just solving for x. So I divide by 12. X is equal to 1 over 4. So if I plugged 1 into 4 over here and plug 16 to the 3 times 1 over 4, I should get 8 as my answer. Okay, my next one looks like we got to break it down. I could get them both to be 3's because I know 3 can go into 27. So 3 to what power can get me to 27? Well, 3 cubed can. I still have this 3x here. I do the same thing with the 81. So 3 to what can get me to 81? So if I try 3 to the first, I get 3. If I try 3 to the second, so 3 squared, I get 9. 3 to the third gets me 27. 3 to the fourth gets me 81. Once I have the same bases, I just look at their powers. 3 times 3x gets me 9x equals 4. Divide by 9. So this time x is equal to 4/9. Okay, my next one, I can get both of them to be 2 because I know 2 can go into both of them. 2 to what can get me to that 4? Well, 2 squared can. I keep the power, so this 4x. My next is the exact same base. Okay, so 2 to what can get me to 8? 2 cubed can. Once I have the same base, I can cancel them. So I got 2 times 4x is equal to 3. This is 8x, so I can divide by 8. So x is equal to 3 over 8. So if I plugged it back in and typed it in my calculator, I should get 8. Okay, well, what if for some reason I can't get them to be the same base? So 2, 3, 4, 5, none of them can go into 15, where if I square it or cube it, I can get 15. Okay, so what we can do this time is take the inverse of it. So right now I'm an exponential. I can do the log of both sides. So I got log of 15 to the 3x is equal to log of 285. What I do to one side, I have to do to both sides. Okay, and now we can break down this log. My exponent can come to the front. And now we're going to solve for x because we're trying to get x by itself. So we're going to divide. I need to get rid of this log of 15 and this 3, and it looks like both of them are multiplying. So I can divide both sides by 3 log of 15. So then x is going to equal, I'm going to type in log of 285 divided by, in parentheses, 3 log of 15. And my parentheses twice. Okay, these has to be in parentheses, otherwise it will do log 285 divided by 3 and then just attach this onto the side of it. So make sure you do it in parentheses. You press enter. I get 0.696. Okay, my next one, I can't break this down to 5 because nothing when I square it or cube it or take it to the 4th power gets me to 130. So I'm going to take the log of both sides again. So what I do to one side, I have to do to both sides. So I'm going to take the log. So now I have log of 5 to the 2x is equal to log of 130. We can bring our exponent to the front. Got to get x by itself, so I'm going to divide by 2 log of 5 so I can get rid of all of it in the same step. Remember, when you type it in your calculator, you need to type it in with parentheses, so it takes all of that 2 log of 5 and keeps it on the bottom. So I have x is equal to, I type in log of 130 in my parentheses divided by, in parentheses, 2 log of 5 and my parentheses twice. So I got 1.512. Okay, so now if we're solving when we have a logarithm, well, we can do the opposite to get rid of it, so we can take it to the exponential. Normally when we were doing these, we had something like this, where it was equal to x, where this was our base, this is what my power was, and this is what it was equal to. We can do the exact same thing. Remember, if I don't see a base for my log, it's always going to be 10. Okay, so if we do the same process, I've got my base to my exponent and what it's going to equal. So I got 10 to my power and what it equals, 4x minus 2. And we can solve this. 10 squared is 100. To get x by itself, we need to add 2. So I have 102. If I take 102 divided by 4, I got x to be 25.5. So you do the same process of base power to what it equals to, except this time you got to do solving for the x. Okay, so this time we need to condense it so that we can do our base to power to what it equals. So this plus sign, remember, means to multiply. So log base of x minus 3 times x equals 1. Okay, remember the base is 10, so I go base power, and what it's going to equal this time is this whole shebang. So my base was 10, my power was 1, and it equals x minus 3 times x, that condensed version. So if I solve, I need to go ahead and distribute this because I'm trying to get x by itself. So I got x squared minus 3x. If I got a squared, that means I'm probably going to have to factor. So let's go ahead and move this guy over by subtracting. So now we can factor to do ZPP. So it multiplies to get me negative 10, adds to get me negative 3, x minus 5, and x plus 2. So if I set them both equal to 0, I would add 5 for this one to get x equals 5, subtract 2 for this one to get negative 2. But I can't have two answers for these sometimes, so I need to plug them in and check it. So when I plug it in for both x's and see if it equals 1. So I plugged 5 in, so I do log of 5 minus 3 and my parentheses plus log of 5, press enter, it equals 1. When I type negative 2 in to both of my x's, that has an error. So my only answer for this one is x is equal to 5. Okay, my next one, we got to deal with this at some point, but if we're going to condense it first, remember we deal with sending it back to our exponents first. So now I have log of x squared plus log of 4. So you always condense it first, so follow the steps of condensing, and then go ahead and solve. So then log of plus sign means to multiply, so times 4. It has a base 10, so here's my base, here's my power, and what it's going to be equal to. So I have my base, my power, what it equals to. 10 squared is 100. We're going to go ahead and solve this, so I'm going to divide by 4 to get 25. Opposite of squaring is square rooting. So x, remember when we solve, we have to include the positive and negative side of it. So I got to double check by plugging in a positive 5 and a negative 5. If I plug in negative 5 in here, I'll get an error. So my answer is just positive 5. Okay, it looks like it's already condensed. Let's go ahead and get rid of this 3. So I have log of x is equal to 1.5 divided by 3 gets me 0.5. Okay, it has a base of 10, so here's my base, here's my power, here's what it's equal to. My base, my power, what it's equal to. 10 to the 5th is, x equals 100,000. That was actually a 0.5, not a 5. So let's try this again. So I'm going to type in 10 to the 0.5, and I'm going to get 3.16. That's better. Okay, my next one, we got to condense it first. This division sign means that we are dividing. I don't have any exponents I need to send back. So I'm going to do log of 4 of 3x divided by 9 is equal to 0. Okay, so I go base, power, what it's equal to. So base, power, what it's equal to. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So if I solve, I need to get rid of the 9 first. So multiply, which is the opposite, to get rid of it. 9 times 1 gets me 9. To get rid of this 3, I'm going to divide. So my x is going to equal 3. Okay, my next one, we got to condense it. Doesn't look like I have any exponents to send back, so this means dividing. So I'm going to have log of x plus 9 divided by x is equal to 3. So it's a base of 10. So I do my base to my power, what it's equal to. So base to my power, what it's equal to is this x plus 9 over x. So 10 to the third is 1,000. And we're going to have to do some moving around to get this x by itself. So first let's multiply by this x to cancel so we don't have that ugly fraction. It's attached to the x and the 9 right now, so that's why we have to multiply to get rid of it. So I now have 100x equals x plus 9. Let's go ahead and get our x's on the same side, so I'm going to subtract him over to get 99x is equal to 9. Divide both sides by 99. So I got x is equal to 0.0090.